Welcome to CX in the Wild Season 3. Let's catch up with Dennis on Safari now.
Hi, tell the audience who you are. You're a founder of a company, and what is your company and what does it do?
Yeah, so thank you to having me on this podcast. My name is Anton Kooijman. I'm the founder of BeAddy, and BeAddy is an online marketing tool, and we're helping marketeers to have their media plan leading the strategy, making sure that not the campaigns are taking over, but the media plan is leading.
So the reason I grabbed you because you're a founder. How long have you been in business?
Now we're started since 2019.
2019. And I just grabbed you because I like to talk to people who are in startups because I'm curious to see if there's some sort of innovation in the marketplace. I think your brand promise, I think we've heard that from a lot of companies in the space. You know, it's like kind of a standard thing. Hey, we built this thing that makes you smarter and you get better. But I think as a founder, you had something more specific that was going to be valuable to the marketplace, or you certainly wouldn't have jumped in and done it right now. What was the thing you were chasing with this venture?
So what I was chasing is, so I worked in several agencies, big agencies, working on international accounts. And what I saw is during my different roles that there wasn't any tool which put the media plan really in front of all the campaigns. So I was basically using tooling which was helping me to assess in terms on, okay, what's the reporting, how are we doing, and how are we meeting our KPIs. However, it didn't give me the feedback from a marketing perspective.
Okay, wait a second. I don't think I followed you there.
Sorry.
So, and you know, I sometimes I oversimplify things because I want the audience to understand. Like when we're talking amongst ourselves in the industry, we're like buzzword, but it's just like too much for the audience. I think what we to make this understandable, you were working in an ad agency. There was a pain point. And what was the pain point?
The pain point was that I didn't have the overview of how the KPIs were met in my media plan.
So you got a media plan, but you didn't have transparency to the metrics?
Exactly.
Okay, and that's something I agree with you because I've been very curious for a lot of years how all these metrics, these like secondhand or third-hand metrics get to me. Like as the brand, I agree with you. There's a need for transparency. Exactly. So it sounds like you started out wanting to be a little more transparent.
Definitely.
But transparent about media metrics, people can already get to that. That's not enough to make an entrepreneur take the jump. So what else are you doing
So what we did is we had a lot of discussions with different stakeholders in questioning what is valuable for you in terms from a marketeer? What kind of KPIs would you like to see back? Instead of the KPIs from all the different silos is giving you the answer, because that's the difference.
Okay, so I agree with you. So I'm going to just share with you. When I was in the ad agency, and I did a lot. I did 35 years of tour of duty in the ad agency world. That's always been one of my fundamental problems also, which is one KPI good, KPI in the context of the entire customer experience better. And so you've built a company that tries to do that.
Yes, exactly.
And
exactly.
You've done it in the last few years because there were a lot of companies trying to do that before, and there are still some trying to do it. But what is your angle? Why is your thing work better?
Yeah, because what we have seen is that marketers tend to look at what you're mentioning, the whole customer experience, where those touch points aren't embedded within the different silos. And that's the way how we display it from a marketing point of view, within a media plan, that's something what stands out in compared to.
So you're taking media metrics, contextualizing them in the customer experience, but feeding it back out to media buyers so that they can understand it and they can incorporate it into their strategies.
Exactly.
So in some ways, I think what I hear you saying is you're giving media buyers a customer experience advantage.
Definitely.
Is that right?
That's.
I mean, I had to put
right.
words in your mouth.
Yeah. But that's exactly what we did. So we've seen indeed a lot of tooling was trying to create this bridge, but they created the bridge still based upon the metrics from those different channels. And that's something marketeers are not seeing. So they are using another context from a customer journey, and they want to see those kind of KPIs in there instead of the different.
Well, they
silos.
need to see them in there. Who is your primary buyer? Are you selling to media buyers?
I'm selling to brands mainly.
But brands don't buy. A person buys. Who is the person that uses
the marketeer or the CMO is buying those kind of.
Well, the CMO buys it, but the CMO doesn't use it.
No, exactly. But he needs to approve it, or he or she needs to approve it.
Who uses this platform?
So the marketeers are using this.
Okay. So the marketeers are using, and it's mostly on the brand side?
It's mostly on the brand side.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the reason I'm curious is, there are a lot of tools out there that are thin layer clients that sit over a bunch of data and give dashboards that give the heads up.
Yeah.
And I see these dashboards tailored to executives who want a lot of different charts. I see them tailored to practitioners where they're very, very simple. Just the things that a practitioner needs to know to do their job. Where does your tool fall in that spectrum?
So to take it back to one of our customers, so they are a scale-up, and we tend to look at those kind of customers who are quite small in terms on operational point of view, but need to scale up. So they have currently an ad spend between 50 and 100K on a monthly base, and they needed to scale up from 100 to 250K on a monthly base across Europe. And he said, I'm a marketeer, I'm working with different specialists in those different silos, but what I need to do now is impossible for me to execute on, because I will not have the overview, and certainly I can't rely on my KPIs those specialists are giving to me. So we tapped in and we helped this marketeer to make sure he's organizing it in a way where he's more efficient and can also relate back to the marketing KPIs he would like to see back on.
Right. Well, that's interesting. It's just interesting. So what's it like being a founder in this space?
What's it like to be a founder in the space? Tough, but yeah, but it's really fun though still, because we see when we have a deeper discussions with people, because I agree with you to have this thin layer. Where do we fit among all these kind of tooling who are saying all the same promises or deliverables?
I mean, bro, I talk to like a platform company every day.
Exactly.
Like I talk to one, at least a person pitching one every week, and I must see an email or an ad for one like at least every hour of the day. What's it like to be in that space as a founder?
Yeah, again, tough to, yeah.
Did you guys raise money? Or?
Yes.
How much did you raise?
1.6 million.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you're building, and how long is your product? Are you on version 1?
Yes. No, well, yeah, we're on version 1. Yeah, exactly.
And how many clients do you have so far?
We have 10 clients, but there are 10 clients who are mainly operating in Europe. And one of our clients is going to expand his business to the US. Yeah.
10 clients. I'm sorry, because I'm just trying to get out of here but I wanted to talk to you about this because I found it interesting. And I'm sorry to my audience. I'm trying to get in a cab and get all the way across New York to another thing, but this was an interesting topic. So I'm forcing this episode in.
No worries.
Here's what I think I heard you say. You raised some money. Well, you had this need you were a media buyer.
Oh, well,
So what I like about that is you have this, you're not a businessman trying to take advantage of a market opportunity. You're a practitioner who saw a real need. I mean, that's why I'm talking to you. And then I admire because you took the leap to try to build a business around this need. And then what I heard you say was you did this in Europe first.
Yeah.
And then you got 10 clients, which who cares about client number 50, 100, 200? You have 10 actual clients. So that's kind of for my audience, I'm just trying to find real stuff. So that's kind of another indicator that you might be worth looking at. And then I think the fact that you're over here in the US trying to expand to the US, I just think that these are key indicators of momentum. And I think authenticity. I have not tried your platform. I didn't even get a chance to look at it. So I asked to speak to you just simply on the fact that I admire the grit, the guts, and the willingness to improve the market, and that's why I was talking to you. If people wanted to look at you, where do they reach you?
So they can reach me through my website. So it's beaddy b-addy.com. Sorry for that.
Hold on, is it
So yeah. So it's
the URL is www.b as in boy -addy.com. And say your name again.
Anton Kooijman.
Anton Kooijman.
Correct.
And you're the founder of BeAddy. And I just would encourage you to continue trying to innovate, but I understand that the more clients you get, the easier the innovation is. How much does it cost to use your platform?
So we're based upon an ad spend. So currently you can get us already for $650 on a monthly basis.
$650 a month.
On a month. Yeah.
Plus your ad spend. Do you take a percentage?
No, we don't take it as a percentage. This is the 650 is on an average where you're not spending more than 50K. If you go above the 50K, then you're paying more.
All right. So I'm sorry. I already did the closing, but I want to get back to this.
Yeah.
So if I'm spending less than $50,000 a month on media, I can spend $650 and I can get essentially the customer experience, marketing metrics where that contextualize where my ad spend is.
Exactly.
Anton, why didn't we lead with that? That is because here's what I think. Media is so expensive. I myself, my small agency, we have a number of media accounts and they're very small, not like a big ad agency. And we're still doing we're piecing together CX reporting across a number of different touch points, contextualizing the media spends for our clients. We're doing exactly what you're doing with the platform by hand because we're so small and nobody wants to service our market.
Yeah, and this is where we come in to help you innovate, to help this process to getting smoother. So we're looking really, we sound like we're the same. However, I think and I strongly believe, and that's why I started this company, that we can make the difference by this innovation.
Well, I like it. For me, I think here's what I see. you're not even asking me, but here's my 2 cents. I've seen more people start ad agencies. There's been a swell of small firms like mine. I only have 65 people, but we got those in 1 year. Agencies that I worked with before were somewhere between 200 and 500. I'm going to be up to that size in the next year. And no one's servicing us, and we have new business models that are much more agile and dynamic. And there's probably more of me out there than anybody knows. I think you have a huge market with smaller, more agile ad agencies. I do think, because I'm an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
that's a better market, because those brands that you're talking to, they've already got 16 other tools that already made the promise you did, and they cost more.
Yeah.
And so shifting down to save money is almost like an embarrassment, because these brands are always trying to prove that the money they invested for this huge fancy tool is actually delivering. So I think you're going to be finding that entrenched brands are saturated with technology products. But I think if there's another small agency who wants to provide customer experience metrics that have media buys in them, this BeAddy may be something for you.
Thank you very
With
much.
that said, thank you for letting me talk to you. I know it's weird, right? Because what is he going to talk about? But all right, thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Thanks for coming on this adventure. To catch up with Dennis for CX news and industry events, visit www.denniswakabayashi.com.